for today, who will be introducing the speakers. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Chief Executive Officer, of course, for today's panel, Pak ARSHAD RAHMAN. Can we have a round of applause, everyone?
Selamat pagi semua.
Selamat pagi Pak ARSHAD. We're making sure that your home is comfortable for you and your speakers.
Thank you so much.
All right.
But yeah, may I already begin?
Yes, there you go.
It's a short on time, yeah. I feel I owe everybody an explanation as to what you saw just now as a new skill learned, a bit of typo. The skill learned was actually restrained. Restrained. And I feel I owe everybody an explanation as to why I said that. See, my daughter just turned 18 this year. And I threw her a birthday party for her and her friends. All her girlfriends came to the birthday party. And she had the audacity, the nerve, to introduce me this little man she called her boyfriend. And boy, so I pulled this little man aside, had a conversation for a couple of hours, and based on how I behaved, I believe I've learned a new skill of restraint. I also think I learned another skill called interrogation. So, selamat pagi semua. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And welcome to MMA Impact 2023. Oh, ada Bapak Himanshu. Halo, bos. Or ex-boss technically. Or future boss. No. Please scratch that from recording, please. Bosku marah nanti ya. So allow me to introduce our esteemed panelists. Our first panelist is a marketing expert with over 20 years of experience. She started her career working for several agencies such as Leo Burnett, Starcom, and Activate. She then went on to work for multinational brands such as Nestle as media manager over the next 5 years, and then climbed the ranks through Samsung until she became the CMO after 7 years. Ladies and gentlemen, today, she's now with Google Indonesia as head of industry for automotive, tech, telco, media, and entertainment. Please put your hands together for Ibu ELVIRA JAKUB. Our second panelist, also with over 20 years of experience, has built his expertise in sales, marketing, and brand building through a diverse portfolio of industries ranging from telecommunications, FMCG, fintech, and e-commerce, overseeing business planning processes to execution excellence, from startups to established corporations. A man of many talents, he is today the CMO of Blibli.com. Please welcome to the stage, Pak Edward KILIAN SUWIGNJO, aka Pak Kiki. Our final panelist flew all the way from Singapore, but originates from France. Also with over 20 years of working experience, particularly in the enterprise technology space, he has enabled technology adoption for businesses across manufacturing, consumer goods, media and communications, and financial services. Between his busy schedule, he is an active volunteer of causes that protect children's well-being and rights at foundations such as Make-A-Wish, ASEAN Nepal, and the Salvation Society Nepal. Today, the Area VP for Cloud Sales of the ASEAN region at Salesforce. A round of applause, please, for Mr. GARNIER. French is improving by the minute. All right. Okay, so there's a lot of AI topics today that we need to cover. But I think it's very important we kind of set a tone. And I'd like to break this conversation down to 3 components. Yang pertama, we talk a bit about a broader, evolution of AI. All of you came from very, very diverse, different backgrounds, and you have a different lens or point of view of how AI kind of evolved over the many years. And then the second component, I'll dive into addressing some of the elephants in the room, the fears, the resistance, the obstacles, but also kind of flip into a couple of successful case studies as well. And we'll close it off with perhaps how the panelists could share some advice about how should brands start their AI adoption journey, especially for marketing. So without further ado, the first one would be like, my first question is, take us through the evolution of AI through your lens. And maybe Pak Kiki, we started with you, since you're coming from various industries of experiences. How did AI contribute or impact your line of work a few years ago versus how you see it today?
Yes, thank you, ARSHAD. So I think this is a very interesting question. I'm just saying that I've been very fortunate enough that I've been witnessing on how AI is actually making a difference in terms of how we deliver impact in the effective and efficient manner. So I think in my opinion that AI is actually helping a lot in terms of us handling complex tasks, complex executions at scale. So I think that's something in general, right? I saw at least on the 3 areas. First is actually in the areas of performance marketing. So probably if you are on my age, you're still thinking about bidding keywords, bidding on the CPC and so on. It's no longer there. Everything is automated, goal-based. So we're not talking about the bidding, but we're talking about goal. So that's an area that I've seen evolving in the last couple of years. Second area that I saw is actually about how do we do customer lifecycle management. Before, it's pretty manual. Probably you extracting the data, you look at the customer, their state, and then you prepare on how do we actually address this segment, how we actually addressing the potential to churn and so on and so forth. But today, we don't see it as a manual. Everything is automated on the fly, and then we talk about dynamic segmentations and so on. So that was actually not something that you discussed like 3-5 years back. Right? The last point that I will also share about the case study as well, about how AI is actually helping us handling in terms of creative. Right? So we don't talk about simply about resizing and everything else. AI is actually helping us to optimize on the content itself. And later I will share the case study on how AI helping us to generate content. Right? Not only on the text and images, but we've seen in our case study how AI can help in terms of producing audio and video. Right? So that's actually at least the 3 areas that I've seen that is delivering impact, that we can actually scale up complex job to make it very effective and efficient.
Right, a lot of automation, improving our complex tasks. Thank you, Pak Kiki. Betong, I mean, you've been with Salesforce for the past decade. Maybe you can share, a point of view, at least within your organization. How has that evolved and, changed your perspective, how AI has been over the past few years till today, if not tomorrow?
Sure. Thank you, Pak ARSHAD, for having me. Thank you, Pak Shanti, for having me. Actually, today is my anniversary with Salesforce. 10 years today.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Happy anniversary!
So thank you. 5 years in Paris, 5 years in Singapore, and yes, I've seen this rise of AI. Started in 2015 with a brand called Einstein. So at Salesforce, our products are called Einstein, about AI, and it was mainly about prediction. How we help marketers, salespeople, e-commerce people to predict. Today, Einstein is powering 1 trillion prediction every week. Right? That's the scale that we have currently in our business for all our customers worldwide. And it's pretty good, right? And one example on my business, every month I have about 100 big transactions, right? Impossible to look at each of them, but Einstein is looking in my emails, is looking in the interaction of my sales rep, is looking in all the ecosystem, and is making a prediction like, hey, this deal is likely to close. This deal, not sure. And that's the reality of today. And yes, we've been researching in AI for a long time, and LLMs and predictive AI is nothing but new. It's just that everybody's got code back the power of ChatGPT recently. And now those products are generally available, and I maybe can share later what are the use case of Gen AI for marketing and e-commerce. But that's really the second wave, and the third wave will be general AI. So I heard some Google experts said it may come in about next 5 years. That really some complete action from human may be replaced by AI to do something, of course, different and more creative. So that's where we are. But as the number one thing for us at Salesforce to close this first question is everything is about the data. And the fact that your data that you have in your enterprise are very, very precious, and we want to make sure that we make a good use of those data without making one of those Samsung leak or the kind of thing that we read in the press. So that's pretty much the Salesforce journey in AI so far.
Yeah, fantastic. So a lot more about data collection for predictions
yes.
of the future. right, the Samsung case is long after the ELVIRA already left Samsung, so it's not, So yeah, coming back to Google then, I mean, like evolution of AI through your lens, how did it contribute to your line of work?
Yeah, thanks, ARSHAD. I think the two gentlemen explained it very well. I just want to share a story. Like, I asked the team in Google, like, whenever there's an AI discussion, why did you guys always put me in at front to talk about it? They said, like, oh, because you're one of the living proof when it comes to the three big digital shifts in the market. You know, if you recall, like, the first one was internet booming, and then the second one was mobile, and then the third one is AI. Even though for Google, it's not really new for us because AI is already embedded in our Google search, even in the hardware like Pixel. But I think this year we are focusing much more on the human part and how Google AI and human can really, work together and make impact to business. And I've been seeing, like, from this past 1 year experience, for example, how digital marketing changed when it comes to marketing KPI, for example, or when it comes to measurement in digital marketing. And I believe that it will change, moving forward.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, interesting, because there's a notion whereby machines will kind of come in, take over everything that humans do, but obviously there is an opportunity for synergy to kind of optimize that. Let's stay on you, ELVIRA. I think as a self-serving advertising platform, has there been any, surging concerns about this adoption of AI, be it from clients or from agencies as ourselves? Are you using machines to kind of take over us, take over the world? How do you think, we should balance the roles, between humans and AI?
Good question. Actually, those are one of the most asked questions whenever we talk about AI. Like, will AI actually replace the human? I think we've been seeing from our experience, 70% of advertisers that is already adopting AI, they've been seeing the improvement when it comes to performance, giving better, higher results, and also reduce the cost. So it's more on the efficiency. Why it's only 70%? Because there's the success of the campaign actually defined by the human itself. If you can maybe if we have
slide,
visualization, maybe better.
Sorry, can we move to the slides?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oops.
The next one.
Here we go.
Okay,
Yep.
maybe it's better to explain it with visual. So this is the Google principles when it comes to AI. So it's always you and Google AI. We create a flywheel. What does it mean? I think in the past, we believe that AI will help in terms of efficiency, but you know what? Think about AI as your business multiplier. I think about how can AI help you to grow your revenue, for example, to scale your growth. So this is the Google flywheel. So it's always AI and then the human, and the impact should be the business multiplier. If I go a bit more detail on the right-hand side, this is how AI and human actually works. So first, the red one is the most important part. It's you. It's the marketers who supply the creative, set the right goal, and then making sure that the data that you put to your campaign, it's clean. So the conversion data is very critical. And this actually make or break your campaign, whether it's success or not. And then second one, let the AI remix the creative. And then cast wide net. So what does it mean we cast a wider net? So in the past, we have to choose like whether we want to go to Google search or YouTube, but nowadays the solutions actually let you to cover everything. So AI will cover that. Okay, and then at the end, it will deliver returns. And don't forget, making sure the insights that you get from running an AI marketing campaign, it will also help you to define your next move. So again, it's becoming a flywheel, ARSHAD.
Right, yeah. So it's not like leaving everything to the machines. And
don't forget to learn from it.
Right, got it. Fantastic. Well, how about, coming back to you, Pak Kiki, at Blibli.com, yeah? I mean, like, you're e-commerce, but you're also a tech company yourself. What has been your organization's stance internally about the adoption of AI? Is it deemed to be a threat to your workforce? Your employees, your staffs, your vendors, your partners kind of worried that the more you automate, the more machine that kind of comes in, that their jobs are a threat?
Yeah, I think I will see it today, right? That AI technology is the enabler, right? So it can be different for tomorrow, right? So, but today I see it as enabler. So I will just share a case study why I thought so, right? It was actually back then last year that we thought about working together with a brand ambassador, which is Fadil Jaidi. Typically as a brand, we're just working with the brand ambassador to promote our brand. But as we are a marketplace, we work together with seller, merchants, and also brand partners. We thought about how can we actually extend the endorsement of Fadil Jaidi to all of our merchants. The case is that we're not talking about 2 or 3 merchants, we're talking about 100, we're talking about thousands, right? There is no way that actually we ask Fadil Jaidi to be short to promote 800 sellers, right? To mention their names and everything else. So there was an idea about how can we actually leverage on technology to enable this. One shot, do everything, right? So we found a partner to do technology which generate the voice, regenerate voice of Fadil Jaidi, and regenerate the movement of mouth of Fadil Jaidi that within one shot, one day, we can actually reproduce it into 800 more videos to be able to be used by our merchant and our sellers on their promotion and getting some amplifications on that campaign. Yeah? So probably we can see on the videos. So then probably I'll just share a bit later about why I thought that technology is the enabler. Probably you want to play the video.
Audio please.
Mau belanja kebutuhan harianmu yang lengkap dan murah? Masuk ke Blibli, cari toko KILIAN Coffee, cari toko beras Al-Aqsa, cari toko Arius Pastry, cari toko bumbu kraton. Pasti gratis ongkir, pasti puas, pasti di Blibli.
Okay, just to explain a bit about what happened. When Fadil Jaidi mentioned cari toko beras Al-Aqsa, cari toko bumbu kraton, he was not shot or he was not recorded of bumbu kraton and so on. All his voice and his mouth movement is generated by AI. Okay. So we just put an input about all of our sellers' name that has been approved together with Fadil Jaidi, and the machine reproduce the video with the audio. So that's what we do with the AI. So the reason I'm taking this example that I mentioned to you is that it's enabler because the thinking about using Fadil Jaidi and reproduce to the seller was not from the machine. It was from the human. It's the thinking, the creativity is human. But technology enabling us to do what we have in mind. Handle the complications about can we shoot like 800 times, can we reproduce the voice and everything else. That was handled by the technology. So I strongly believe that actually the positions and the thinking creativity of the human, it's still there. Technology will enable that. So it was more towards the role of the people, the team, to think more of the thinking rather than thinking about the executions, because the technology can take over the execution. So it will run together, I believe.
Right, it's a very clear differentiation of roles for humans for strategy and machines for execution. Jadi shooting itu berapa kali sebenarnya?
It's just like shooting on one day.
Satu kali doang?
Yeah,
Oh my
just
goodness.
one day,
Okay.
and we reproduce 800 at
Wow.
one go.
Fantastic, thank you. I have so many questions about the concerns and obstacles, but I'll probably save that to later on. But maybe just coming back to you, Baton. I mean, can you share us what are some of the latest development at Salesforce, and how is Salesforce using AI to help boost marketing performances for your clients?
Sure. So, as I said, we are now shipping some generative AI capabilities outside of the release. So if you are a marketing cloud or commerce cloud customers, and I know there are a few in this room, these are generally available, right? You just need, they are already available. But let me share with you maybe on the slide one idea of one use case here. So I can look at the slide, but we believe that your AI is only as good as your data, okay? So as marketers, one of the things we do, we have our yearly event called Dreamforce in San Francisco, where we invite hundreds of thousands of customers every year. And before we were clicking, making an email template, exactly what I mean for marketing campaigns. So at the top of this slide, you can see that now we interact with the marketing tool with a prompt. Hey, help me write a catchy email to advertise Dreamforce 2023 to this segment and encourage attendance. So we just now interact with the tool, just writing a prompt like that, ChatGPT way. But what is fascinating, and then you have two versions of it. On the left-hand side, you have a non-grounding one. So it's pretty good, it helps. This is what a basic ChatGPT kind of LLM can do. But where it becomes powerful is that when at scale, you look at the customer, so in this case, Sam Smith from Acme, and we know they purchased something in 2017. We know they came to Connection, another event in Chicago every year. So then you see how, at scale, with generative AI, when you make a campaign to advertise our own events, we use a simple prompt, no longer click and you know, drag and drop as we were doing yesterday, but today's world is a prompt world. But grounding that with your own data, make it like even more compelling. When you receive this email, you see like a grounded email, it makes much more sense. Let me share another example that is absolutely amazing in the e-commerce space. So we are currently piloting with a customer another use case for, I don't know if you could confirm that, but for many e-commerce, like product description takes a lot of time, right? Updating your product description takes a lot of time, right? Copy paste, could be mistakes, and as consumers, having good product description makes sense. So now we have generative AI capability that are generally available to look at different sources of user manuals, blogs, stuff to create non-graded data, and then it will update automatically the new product. But more importantly, we are able to update the product description in an e-commerce site based on the weather, based on, oh, is there a Halloween kind of celebration now? Should we make all the product description Halloween friendly with a bit of, you know, scary words inside, just for one day? And if you want, as an e-commerce leader or as a marketer leader, to change all your product description to make it good for Halloween, it's a huge effort. Nobody's doing it. Now, it's one prompt away to say, hey, can you update all my product description in my e-commerce site to make it Halloween friendly? And then, thanks to your data, thanks to generative AI, you can have, you know, thousands of product description updated to be Halloween friendly. So this is real, this is now generally available, and that's the thing that we are shipping as an innovation to all our customers.
Fantastic. So generative AI and then plus another layer of personalization on top of that. Fantastic. You know, I think just stay on you for a bit here, Bertrand, because I'm a ChatGPT user myself, right? And I think as to what it says here over here, AI is only as good as your data. So, you know, garbage in, garbage out. So I think, but aside to, you know, the quality of output very much reliant on the quality of input, you know, AI platforms such as ChatGPT, for instance, is also very reliant on the quantity aspect of it. Right? The more input you kind of get in, the more the machine can learn and more it can kind of output. But a lot of these AI platforms today, they are receiving input from everybody, right? So I'm just, I want to move a bit into and pivot into a bit more surrounding the area of privacy and security. You know, as a CRM technology company, what are some of the concerns you hear your clients about? Because the more you input this kind of data, if everybody has access to it, they also have access to your data and vice versa. So what guardrails are in place to help protect your clients' data and the utilization?
Yeah, it's a fascinating question. For Salesforce, our number one value as a corporation is trust. And the fact that your first-party data have to be protected, and your first-party data is key. So if you could maybe showcase the next one. So that's how we look at it. We believe that your data have to be safe. So we have now this trust layer. So I understand you recognize our AI product. The idea is that we want to make sure that if you interact with an LLM outside, whatever LLM you choose, your data will be encrypted and there will be zero retention from the LLM. Because what has been learned cannot be unlearned, right, from an AI tool. So we need to make sure that your data, should you go outside, are protected. We need also to make sure that, you know, if we take this use case about this Halloween product, there is no like toxicity word, no, sometimes AI can make weird description. We have all experienced that. So this whole trust and stand layer that we are now shipping to the market is really around making sure that, yes, the data will stay safe. Your first-party data will stay with you, and that can't be leaked. But more importantly, about bias detection, toxicity detection, making sure that we can generate and all those use cases. And for us, it's in the core of everything we do at Salesforce, because your data are super important. And we are an enterprise solution. That's why there is nothing more important than privacy and trust for us in this AI world. And I can conclude like saying, AI, very often we hear, hey, it's Wild Wild West, right? So the question comes, who's the sheriff, right? And we believe we can be one with those kind of innovative solutions.
Interesting. So you're saying as opposed to like ChatGPT, where, you know, the entire world can kind of go in, input data and get output, you have created a silo so that for your customers are only being able to use GPT or AI, but only within that same particular client. It's not being shared to other clients and vice versa. Okay.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, Pak Kiki, I want to circle back to your case study, right? I'm sure that's no easy feat. I mean, as an agency aja, aku bisa lihat, there's like a million and one things they gotta, worry about. Maybe you can share with the audiences over here, like some of the obstacles that you had to overcome just to kind of make that case study come through. And any advice you can give to brands about how they should start their AI adoption journey.
Yeah, I will see that actually. One is actually challenges related to the business, right? Sometimes we started with the idea, but we forgot about connecting to the business. What is actually the challenges and how the technology can actually really help to overcome those challenges. So that's number one, to make sure that it tally with the business challenges. Second challenge is obviously when we recreate content, it was related to the copyrights. Clearance of the copyrights, whether or not, for example, Fadil Jaidi, when we do process with him, it's not the shoot or reproducing content that taking the longer time. It's the clearance of Fadil Jaidi of what kind of content that you are willing actually to be reproduced. And the third one is obviously the technical challenges, right? The technical challenges meaning that, like it or not, Bahasa Indonesia was not like the commonly used for AI, right? So when we reproduce in Bahasa, it's always been a challenge, right? But if I can actually put two more things that has become operational challenges. One is actually related with the lack of transparency when we use technology. I think when technology come into place, there are less and less transparency because the machine won't tell you what they think, what they are doing, right? So like sometimes we wonder why it happened like this. And there is nothing that actually can explain to us why it behaved like that. So we need to figure out ourselves. The second is actually on the challenges when we talk about technology is that it takes time to learn, right? So it cannot get it right at the first time. It takes time. Just like us, that we need to be taught. The machine needs also to be taught to learn, right? Sometimes some machine with certain context, it can learn really, really fast. But some machine can take more time to understand, like our case of about learning the language, right? So that's actually apparently very challenging for the technology to mimic the Indonesian language. So it takes time. It cannot happen like as easy as, oh, okay, we thought of technology, implement it, and then boom, first time trial, everything goes well. It doesn't happen that way. It takes time to reiterate, to reteach the machine. Even after you reteach it, there will be some other cases where you need the machine to relearn again, right? So I think for the tip is basically one is actually to always coming back to the business challenge, what we're trying to achieve. AI may not be the solution of everything, I would say. Sometimes it's the creativity that need to be in mind, and then you pick the right technology to deliver, to overcome the challenges. And when you implement on the AI, just please remember that the machine need to be taught. It won't like, for example, you see on the first time you say it, and then you try to see that, oh, my effectiveness and efficiency improved by X%. It won't happen. Sometimes it takes days, sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes it takes months actually to do that.
Yeah, fantastic. Another great example of how the human intervention is still required to ensure that the execution is smooth. I think, yeah, just some closing thoughts, I guess, from Google. What tips can you share, Bufira, to our audiences here today about how best to start their journey about integrating AI with marketing?
Yeah, just continuing from Pak Kiki, which is a great example of having an experiment mindset. I think it's important for us to marketers who are just started this new era to have that kind of experiment mindset. So for example, I always suggest my customer, for example, advertisers, if you are doing media plan, for example, do that 70-20-10. 70, like make sure that you allocate on things that is works for you. 20, you scale on the new things, and then 10, do the experiment using that 10%. So then you learn something new, like Pak Kiki and Blibli. I think as a closing notes as well, like, you are not competing with AI. You are not competing with AI. You are actually competing with other marketers who use AI. So make sure that you're also ahead. If you can maybe share the QR. So for those who wants to try or already tried AI, this is the Google link if you want to scan. We have the AI Essentials, so it's a checklist basically for you to make sure that you have the right measurement, the business goal is there, and then how can you transform your organization towards the AI approach as well. The other one is actually AI resources, so it's actually a web that Google has. to keep you updated. So usually we upload the new articles about AI adoption and also best practices in that web. So yeah, hopefully it's useful.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh, just in time. Wow, fantastic. So yeah, I think like, I love the last bit that you said. We're not competing with AI, but you're competing with other marketers using AI, or other agencies using AI. Siapa aja yang pengen pakai AI, tolong just call me. Yeah, AI with agencies. But yeah, I think thank you so much everybody for your attention. Round of applause, please, for our fellow panelists. We conclude our first panel session. Thank you so much, and I'll pass it back on to the MC. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much, panelists. Can we have your take a time for an official photo before we head on to our next panel? Thank you so much for such a thought-provoking and yet very reassuring panel discussion on the potential, the synergy of humans and AI for marketing. So no, you will not be replaced, but yes, let's work together and let's enhance the usage of AI. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, Pak ARSHAD, Ibu ELVIRA, Mr. Edward, and Mr. Bertrand Garnier. Can we have a round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen, for your panelists for this session? Thank you so much.